meeting. Next month, Nate Urban will be chairing this. This includes Rachel, Michelle, and myself. On the committee, we're going to look at item number 1, and that is the employment of our professional substitute. Any questions on that? Consensus or discussion on the agenda? Anybody like that as discussion? Okay, we'll say consent. Classified substitute, same thing. Consent or discuss. We'll do consent. Leave requests, we have Brian Campbell, grade 3. We have Heather Buffington, elementary music teacher. Ron Barshinger, Lickdale custodian. And Kathy Smith, high school physics teacher, for extended leave. Any discussion on that? Yes.
I have a question. The name's not on here, but I think it should be. Why isn't Lord on here at all?
We can't discuss some items that are personnel related, not on the agenda. Sorry.
Maybe January. Okay. Thank you.
So would anybody like that to be discussion or consent? Okay, we'll have that for discussion. I mean, sorry, consent. Yes, sorry. My apologies. Resignations, we have Jan Regal, PCA at Jonestown, Greg Enos, marching band director.
He's just resigning from just marching band director, not as...
That is correct, just
Okay.
as marching band director.
Okay.
He's not resigning as...
Good, yeah. He's a good teacher. Okay.
Any opposition to that being consent as well?
I don't want him to resign, so.
Well, I understand that.
Can you pay him some more money or something?
I know.
If we don't have a band next year, there will be hellfire and brimstone.
Hey, don't make threats now. Calm down.
That'll come up on extracurricular.
We can't discuss that.
Make sure to
Personnel
base
matter.
on that.
Hey, January.
Item 5 is approving the employment of Angela Arms, personal care assistant at Jonestown, 6 hours, 20 minutes a day, $10.10 an hour, effective December 12th. It is fulfilling the position of Jan Regal. Any opposition to that being consent?
So can I just ask a question? The personal care assistants, like I know that their job descriptions are there, but what are those qualifications and those pieces in regards to that? And
Like certification.
I'm talking in general, not talking about a person per se, but I'm talking about in general, because I understand that we have needs of students and kids with IEPs and 504s and behavioral things and other places and where we have kids placed and case loads and things of that nature. But I'm seeing a lot of personal care assistants come and go, and I know that part of that is because we pay quite a bit less than some of the other districts do, so I understand that piece, but I'm wondering if it's because the qualifications or the job description, like what does that look like in this particular district? Like, I know that a personal care aide is designed or should be designed for a specific student in mind, but could flip to different students as needed, but I guess I'm just concerned because as a parent who does have a student in this district who does have a personal care aide, and I have a phenomenal one, but what are those other qualifications so that we can get those other phenomenal aides in and we're not having to flip that around?
Typically in the past, what's happened here in one of the process, first of all, we talked about job descriptions. We're going to be revising all the job descriptions for instructional aides and personal care aides, because we have a lot of different smatterings of levels of participation in the district. And even among full-time, there's 7-hour and 10-minute positions, 7-hour and 25-minute positions. And so we're going to clean that piece up. It's going to be part-time or full-time. Qualifications typically are, many districts will ask for a high school diploma. That's not the case here necessarily. There's somebody who's qualified and can do the job. That's why they go through an interview process with a team of individuals. It usually involves administration, staff, teachers. On occasion, we're actually brought in a parent to meet with the PCA, especially when it's a PCA, because we want to make sure it's a good match. So what we're doing going forward with that also. Then once they're hired, the state requires 20 hours of additional training, mandatory training annually. which actually wasn't happening up until this year. So we're doing that now. And we also focus on making sure that training is focused on what they're doing in their current situation. And try to funnel training that way. Some of it's generalities about how to be an instructional aide in a district and providing support. But when there's individual training, such as say PCA for a student who may be in an autistic support class, we'll certainly get them to the IU because they all have different offerings for supporting an autistic student or behavioral support student. So we certainly slot people in to get the training they need pertinent to the position they're in. Beyond that, you're right, if somebody leaves or no longer is required through an IEP like a PCA, there's always needs in the district, so we try to retain those people, keep the people in the district to keep jobs, because once we have them, we like to keep them. Salary is always constrained, as you said, it varies from district to district, it's always concerned, you try to attract the best people you can. It's difficult to post, and we do what we can to get people, but I think that answers your question.
Okay, so it's typically the start that process is a high school diploma. There's not an associate's, or the baton is not required.
I would say we have a high school diploma there, again, because we have so many different levels. Some may ask for an associate's or an equivalency, or not even ask for a degree. I like to look at that and get it cleaned up. I think we limit ourselves. I came from a district where we didn't require the high school diploma. We had some of our most exceptional aides and PCAs did not worked out just fine because of the extensive training we gave them and support we gave them. So, you know, I don't want to cut us off from getting qualified people that would be very good at that. We would oftentimes have parents of adults, stay-at-home moms or dads retired, no longer employed, retired, and wanted to do something, wanted to work with me with kids. Brought them in, so they were some of our best people. So we don't want to limit ourselves.
Is that something you're thinking about doing, as far as taking the requirements away?
If our requirements I'd like to take away, again, I want to get, because we do all the other background checks and clearances, so then we can reassure ourselves that way.
What about the medical pieces of that? Because those PCAs sometimes are required to have that medical background as well. So like, are they CPR certified? Do they have?
We started this year, we're putting all of our, as the year, by the end of next year for sure, but substantial number of our paras, our PCAs, our instructional aides, we're putting them all through CPR for our state training. That's going to be part of it. We provide that through the IU, no cost to the people that are coming in and doing the job for us. So that's happening. We have a list going and making sure that everybody's certified, and then we'll re-up that certification every couple of years, whatever time frame is to re-up it.
And the crisis intervention piece as well.
Yeah.
So you guys are using crisis management, you're not using CPR.
Yeah.
So they're being certified in that as well.
Yep.
And is there talk in the district about having all of your aides become Baton certified then, which is one of the state requirements?
When you say Baton certified, that's the state certification I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's the
state
mandatory 20
certification.
hours.
Right, but that has
Which
to be
we
done
love.
through Baton, and it has,
No,
like
it doesn't have to be done through Baton.
No, but what I'm talking about does, that's what I'm saying. Baton is the Pennsylvania certification for paraprofessionals, and it is an 80-page paper that has to be completed and filled out by both the teacher as well as the administrative
Again,
staff.
that's part of what
That-
there's also, you may be talking about the Para Academy that's sponsored by Baton, which our IU is facilitating, which we send all our people through as well.
So they have those certifications.
They have the certificate, they're getting it now.
And
I
so
won't
they
speak for
should
2 years
be,
ago and be prior to that, they're getting it, it's happening now.
right, so then
And we
they
get
should.
audited on that to make sure those certifications are in place.
Okay, so then you'll be able to actually look them up online then, because they will have a
Wherever they
certification.
maintain that master.
Yeah, for PA
We're
online.
meeting all requirements. So one of the first things, once I came in and understood it wasn't happening, that's one of the first things we took care of.
Okay,
And our PCAs, our paras, our instructors are only too happy to participate. They really have
Well, it's a lot
enjoyed
of
getting
work,
that
so-
professionalism. It's a lot of work on our part,
I
but
get it.
they take a lot of pride in what they're doing, and they're really excited about the professional development they get. They also, we open our professional development opportunities here in the district to our PCAs, instructional aides also, and give them the opportunity to participate with the teachers. So, yeah.
Moving on to item 6, approve the statement of work with GDC for informational technology services, November 27th to May 27th. Rate is $43 an hour. Any questions about that?
Do you have a copy of the statement of work?
Sure.
Is that the same thing from last time?
Yes, this is the same thing as last time, the
Right.
individual, after we talked about, you know, the money.
Yeah, you got a different
got
job or
better-
whatever.
Yes, so, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's the same statement as.
I didn't see the statement last time.
Yeah, right.
I do have it.
It's one we got to read.
Probably should wait till January to read it. Okay.
I like that he did it because he screwed up and he was trying to fix it.
Is that what you're looking for, Mr. Murphy?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Anything, that can be consent, any objection to that? Okay,
All right.
that concludes human relations.
One other question. I didn't understand the details, but every leave lapses is usually even the board. What type of leave?
So is there a separate meeting, like the same thing? 5:30, 6:30, 7:15?
7, right?
Yeah, the only early
Yeah, that's
meeting
why it's consent.
is when they reorganize in December.
Oh,
That's the only early one it
all right, now it's back to
typically. That's
seven.
seven. Now
Personnel
they change
information
with
is
this committee.
confidential and restricted to
Those
the administration